Evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ray Tampa Podcast. Our podcast offers bold commentary on various subject matters with a laser-like focus on the truth. My name is Ray Tampa. I'm the host of the Ray Tampa Podcast. We have in our studio Mr. Russell Cato, a retired educator with more than 42 years of experience working in the Pinellas County schools, and Mr. Jamie Wilson III, a healthcare provider with more than 30 years of experience working as a physical therapist. My co-host, my dynamic co-host. We're very fortunate to have in the studio with us today. Very happy to have him. He's been here before, but we can never have enough of this gentleman, Jabbar Edmond.
Hey, thank you.
And we want to say thanks for being here, Jabbar.
Man, thank you. Thank you for having me back. I'm glad to be here.
Jabbar, before we get started, I want to ask everybody, just give me a moment. I want to do something. I have two co-hosts that have been with me, or we have been together for about 3 years. 3 years. Consistent shows. Jamie Wilson, Russ Cato. I love these guys.
Love you back.
And I want to show the gratitude because we had a party for my sister about 2 weeks ago. Russ, I heard that you fell in love with the cheesecake.
Yeah.
About the cheesecake.
Yeah.
Having heard that so many times, I decided I'm going to go and get Russ some cheesecake.
Yeah.
So I called Banquet Masters.
Oh,
I
yeah.
called Banquet
Oh,
Masters.
my God.
And I ordered a cheesecake.
Thank you.
So I want to take a moment.
You can't be sad. You got it there? Yeah, I have
Yeah.
it. My God.
Banquet Masters.
Jamie, there it is.
Now, Russ,
Russ been talking
that
about
was a
that
big,
cheesecake.
that was a pretty big cheesecake, Russ, and I didn't think you could eat.
Oh,
a
yes, I
cheesecake.
can.
I'm gonna have to go and buy you another one because I decided to split this one.
Oh, that's good.
cheesecake.
That's
I
good.
want cheesecake
Yeah.
from Banquet Masters.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Jamie, there it is.
There it is.
Yes.
And
No,
Jamie, same
there-
thing.
I appreciate you.
Same
man.
thing.
Very nice. I'll say
Like, oh. There it is.
That's nice.
Like gratitude.
Yeah,
I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
that, Ray.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Make Monday.
All right. We're gonna go on and take care of business.
I feel like go home.
Jabbar, please share with our listeners a little information about yourself, such as where were you born and raised, schools you've attended, and your present employment.
Okay. I was born and raised here in St. Pete. I haven't really been much of too many places outside of that. I went to a lot of schools. I went to Lakewood, Dixie. I went to Gibbs, even though I was never enrolled in Gibbs, but I would hang out. I would hang out. And then I went to a lot of schools. So I kind of got an experience. I went to Osceola. So I kind of got a little experience at a young age at a lot of different things. And then right now I'm working for the Community Development and Training Center, CDAT, which is a nonprofit that me and Brother John Muhammad started maybe 2012. So for the last 13 years, we've been just serving in the community, looking to be an advocate, right? And help, fill the gaps and connect people to resources in the community.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, Jabbar is here to join us in our discussion about the new proposals to develop the gas plant area. We expect a very lively discussion. So listeners, buckle up, buckle up. Where do we start? On October 3rd, 2025, the city of St. Petersburg received an unsolicited bid from Cathy Wood, CEO of ARC Investors, and Casey Ellison, a developer. Later, Horace Construction joined the team. Granted, other unsolicited proposals had been tendered to the city, but this one caused Mayor Welch to quickly propose a formal 30-day window for other potential developers, a 30-day window. To me personally, I believe that Welch was trying to circumvent the normal process to favor the Cathy Wood team. The public and city council pushed back on the 30-day window. Councilman Richard Floyd requested that Welch extend the proposal to a 90-day window, and the city should submit formal requests for RFPs that outlined the criteria, the guidelines, etc., for development plans. This is just another indication that our mayor presents himself as a slow learner. Here again, an effort to put his foot on the scale for fairness. For fairness. Oh boy. Oh boy. We have a lot to say here. Jabbar, what you have?
So my first thought, that after the disaster that was the raised development plan, I thought, because I think that ended in March. So first I want to just clear the air. Like, I don't know none of these people personally. Like, I'm gonna say some names, and I don't want people to feel I'm disrespecting them, and I'm not going to attempt to call people out their names. I'm going to put my personal feelings to the side, right? Whatever things I may have happened with people, I'm going to put it to the side and attempt to look at this just raw as a community citizen who is informed. I'm not going to pretend or put my knowledge to the side, but I'm going to put my feelings to the side or my emotions. So this is not going to be an emotional appeal. This is not going to be calling names to disrespect people, but this is going to be me actually saying people's names. I'm not going to talk in code. And I'm going to just talk directly about this.
Okay.
So the county commissioners put in a safety valve. And that safety valve was that the raise had to come up with like 1.6 million or a certain number. And in March, the raise could not meet that. And they actually took their proposal and withdrew from the deal. That cost the city millions of dollars. Time, effort, energy, and emotions. You can't quantify the emotions, but the time, energy, and effort, we can put a number to that. And so I think between March and October, the city should have had a real come to Jesus moment, right? And instead of waiting or delaying for unsolicited bid to come in, they supposed to put an RFP back out, right?
RFP.
But now, since we have an RFP, it's become a rush all of a sudden. All of a sudden, we got to do it now or we'll never do it. But this is the same energy that went into the last one, and we had a horrible deal that didn't have safety valves that wouldn't allow the team to just leave. So in big deals like this, you put a bond. Right, we know about bonds. People go to jail, you put a bond to say that you come to court. In business, you do a bond to make sure you stay into the business. If you're selling a house, it's called an earnest money deposit. So you just can't walk away from the deal. Sure. This deal was such horribly negotiated by the city of St. Pete staff, the administration staff, the people at the top. This was negotiated so bad, there was no safety valve, right? There was no safety precautions put in place. Our city council didn't do it, right? The county commissioners did it. I'm glad the adults had entered the room, right? They saved us from a horrible deal that we could not get out of for nothing in the world. And some of our elected officials said they didn't want to get out the deal. Their reason for not putting a safety valve was because they didn't want to get out of it. But the truth of the matter is, you don't put a safety valve because you don't want to lead a deal. It's to hold your negotiating partner to what they're saying they're going to do.
Accountable.
And we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We wanted baseball. We were in the baseball dugout. We had our baseball hats on. We was in the suites, and didn't occur to nobody to ensure that the city's interest or their well-being is put into the deal. And the basic way of doing that is saying, hey, if you walk away from this deal, you owe us the time we spent. You owe us the money we spent. Just the basic. You can walk away, but at least give us some of the money we put in, because you waste our time for 3 to 5 years. You waste, and it's political cost to this. It's emotional cost to this. And you can't give us that back. And the reason I'm bringing that up, because now we're entering into another deal with the same negotiators, the same people who put this BS deal and passed it for everybody, who kissed the baby, and they're standing there looking us in a straight face and saying they want to do it again. We get another try at it. Let's try it again, guys. We got it this time without doing an appraisal. It said that they're going to do an appraisal after the deal is made. Now, what kind of malarkey is this? Like, come on, let's walk it out. What kind of BS is this? That's like selling your house and then paying for appraisal after it's sold. Who does that? And the problem is, it's being reduced to public attacks, and people feel it's so it's so personal, and it clouds the judgment. We have the opportunity of a lifetime that we're squandering. The Rays back out of this deal in March. So you mean between March and October, y'all ain't get y'all stuff together? You mean between March and October, you didn't sit down with your team? See, really, if it was me, Jabbar, I would have fired some people. And it wouldn't have been for sexual this or that. I would have fired somebody because you didn't safeguard the interest of the people. If you don't get fired, you'll get demoted.
Jabbar, hold that point, please, because somebody needs to be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
That is the word that we've been talking about for accountability. Accountability.
Yes.
Accountability.
Yes.
You said somebody needs to be fired, but our mayor wanted to give these people bonuses.
Raise.
Bonuses. His judgment is horrible. His judgment is horrible. But my thing is, this show's thing is accountability. So if you have something else to say, go ahead. But I needed to jump in on that accountability.
And I agree, right? There's some accountability that needs, and it goes around. Right, there was a team that put this together, right? The mayor wasn't sitting in a vacuum. They had at least 5 people, 6 people who all got raises because of this, right? So those same people need to be re-evaluated. So when I used to have a job, right, in the industrial complex of what I used to work in, and every year we'll have evaluations. We'll have a self-evaluation, and we'll have a supervisor's evaluation. And then we will have co-workers evaluation. So you can see how you felt about yourself and the work you did, and you can see how your supervisor felt about your work. And then the people who work around you can tell how they felt about your work. I think the self-evaluation was skipped, right? In March, when the Rays walked away, I would have had an emergency evaluation of all people and parties associated with it. Let's go through the timeline and look at where we messed up. Let's go through the timeline, see what we could have did that could have prevented this from happening. And then I would have went public and said, hey, this is my findings, community. My team messed up and we didn't have the best deal on the table because we allowed our partner to walk away and leave us holding the bag. And that's an error in business. And so what? Guess what, guys? I'm going to talk to you about it. But we haven't had that. No. There's no open conversations about the gas plant. There's some news articles that come from sheltered news places, people with self-interest that's into the stadium, and they'll put a nice story out. They'll put a good look for the administration out, but the real answers are never going to get asked. I mean, real questions ain't going to get asked because they're going to ignore the people asking the real questions. They're gonna ostracize us. They're gonna say we don't like black people. We're gonna say we racist. They're gonna say we got a problem with the mayor and we got this. And bro, I got problems with a lot of people, right? I got a list. And this ain't about the problem I have, because I can bring another list forward. I'm talking about the Tropicana site. I call it Tropicana by habitual nature. The gas plant redevelopment, because it had several names, right? The Suncoast Development, the Suncoast Stadium, right? They had it was one term, it was called the Rebirth, right? It was the Rebirth Project, right? Then they had another project called the Waterfront Stadium, when the Rays were trying to get Alain Stadium as the Rays Stadium. Then they had another name for it. It was called the Tropicana redevelopment, the downtown redevelopment. Now we have the gas plant redevelopment. It's been 7 to 10 different iterations of this, right? And my problem is, it seems to be tied to who's leading the administration.
Oh, yeah.
It seems to be tied.
Oh,
So the business interest knows that once they get a mayor in, they have an attempt to get something from the city, and they have a request. And it's kind of like the proof is really there. Every administration has a different plan that was pushed to them by the investors, right? And this administration is no different. The investors came to them, which would be the Rays, and said, this is my idea here. And, oh yeah, this is a great idea. I love it. Come on, I can get behind it. But throughout the entire idea, the person who gave it to you had never put a restriction on themselves.
Oh, that point. Jay, you have often said
I'm thinking about that now.
our city is outmatched,
Mhm.
big time outmatched
Mhm.
in terms of the negotiators.
Right.
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. So I get that it is emotional and it's costing a lot of money, but the first plan was disastrous. It failed. It was disastrous. That should have said to them, let's get a professional that negotiate these type of deals. They do it with every city that has a pro team or whatever team. They're out of their league. They're out of their league. They cannot negotiate this. I mean, the first plan just totally pimped the city of St. Pete.
Yes.
You know, and it makes you feel like, is this a money grab? Are you allowing this? You can't be this unintelligent to allow such a plan. So now you're talking about they're trying to do a part 2. Get somebody in that can negotiate this properly for the benefit of the community, the city.
Russ, I want to give you a chance to come in on this, but I want to say this. Speaking to what Jamie just said and what Jabbar has been saying, Alan DeLisle, former city administrator, he studied that plan from A to Z. He studied and he gave a detailed analysis of the plan. He knows what he was doing, or he knew what he was doing. And his commentary at the end of that review was development agreements are sometimes bad, but no city deserves an agreement this bad, this bad. And he's the former city development administrator for the city of St. Petersburg. And he slammed it.
History of doing it.
And a history of going around the country as a consultant offering these type comments, advice. But these people here in this city, they felt they didn't need to consult.
Arrogance. It's arrogance, because now you're going to do it again. Get the appropriate person in place to negotiate this stuff. You're going to make the same mistake or worse again. That's insanity when you do the same crazy stuff. I'm not going to curse. Same crazy stuff. Expect a different outcome.
Russ, what you got?
I like everything you guys said here, but I go way back with this right here.
Yeah.
And I think I was telling you previously, it's a perception here that I have because I was a gas plant person. So were you, I think, at one time. But you got to look at it is. And I go back and thank you for that. I want you to go back and look at the history of this thing. 1970. That's 55 years.
Wow.
That's 55 years. We're talking about interstate and baseball. So what you got to deal with is what were the priorities set about in 1970. Now, if you notice what Welch did, Welch said himself, without baseball. And that's why he got tied up in it. He felt that you had to have baseball to get this thing across. He felt that baseball was the top priority, regardless. Because if you didn't understand, it went through a whole lot of mayors. Not only Welch, you went through a whole lot of mayors doing that. But listen to this. Listen to the word. South side, downtown. Think about it. South side is down.
That's right. That's right.
Downtown is flat. So the priority, I believe, came more to dealing with downtown than South Side. But at the same time, you've got to pull South Side in to get the downtown deal done.
Right.
So neither could be accomplished. It failed on both ends. That's where it is right now. And not only that, two things I want you to look at. You don't only look at Tropicana Field, look at the Tangerine Plaza.
That's another
Look
story.
at the Tangerine Plaza.
Another story.
So here's what you got in black neighborhoods. You got a failure to deal historic development with black people. You got failure with the Tangerine Plaza. But at the same time, what I don't understand, you're always calling in black Christians. I hate that.
And that's the emotional part.
I hate
That's the emotional part.
calling in these people and calling in people laymen who on the streets can tell you what they need.
Right. Right.
We're not
It's
doing
get
it.
more lay people involved.
We're not doing it.
I want you to think about this point.
We're not doing
This is not
Very good point.
to knock Cathy
it.
Wood.
No, it's not.
Kathy Wood is worth about $28 billion. 28 billion dollars. So she has the resources
Yeah.
and she knows how to invest her money. Ellison Development, they've done a few projects already around the city.
Yep.
Horace Construction, they're involved in that project across from the Manhattan Casino.
Sam Copeland.
Yeah. So they put a team together
Yeah.
and Welch acted as if he didn't need to hear anybody else. I got the people that I want to develop Tropicana Field. And he was not interested in giving anybody else a fair chance. So that's when he came in with that 30-day window. 30 days for a serious development of this nature. A serious developer is in need of architects, electricians, construction people, planners. There's a lot that go into putting that type of proposal together. 30 days, that's because he didn't want competition for Cathy Wood. So it's all on Welch. He never learned.
They take longer than that to build a high rise.
And capitalism is built on competition. So a lot of times we're operating inside of something we have no idea what we're doing. Capitalism is built on competition. That's what's supposed to drive down prices, right? Or drive up, benefits.
Yeah.
Right. In this case. And I think that when the first sleep at the wheel thing, when the Rays dropped out, the city went to sleep at the wheel because at that time they should have immediately reissued the RFP. And then you would have gave developers time to learn. Like we talking about worldwide development. This is the biggest development, and it's just not a local joker thing, right? And I don't know Cathy Wood from a can of paint. I have no disrespect for her. I don't know her group. I know nobody in Horace, right? I'm just speaking about what's in front of us. And what's in front of us is the opportunity of a lifetime, but we're not able to get the word out because they fell asleep at the wheel in March, right? They probably had some internal stuff going on with your boy and all the text messages and all the stuff and all the other stuff. And they didn't go back to the development and say, hey, this is so important. We're going to reissue this RFP because our partners, the baseball team, because they were such good partners. They were such community partners. I was wondering who they talking about. Team code, stadium code. These people ain't never even been here. These companies were initiated March and June of the year they got the award. So we didn't do business with the Rays. So that's a misnomer. That's not true. We did business with Stadium Code. Stadium Code was a company that could not get a CRA grant today because they haven't been here long enough. right? But they were able to get the biggest contract in city history. Why? Because it was done wrong. It wasn't done correctly.
Well, that's the
Could I say
mode of
this?
operation for this administration.
But let me say this, and I want me to, you got to understand too, Ray, Jane, that you got the election coming up here. Tell people to understand this. And here's what Ken Welch said. After he understood that these development groups came in, he said, I listened to all of them. And I'm glad to have the interest. But my top priority, no, not baseball, is the gas plant development area. Now, why is he saying that? Because he knows when this election come in, you got to have black votes to win this election. I don't care how you look, whoever come up for election, you got to have black votes. So why not? Well said, yeah, I've been a failure here, but my priority is still for the historical gas plant area. You got to understand this. So I'm telling people, when anybody come up, black people got to understand, don't get fooled by black faces.
Don't be fooled by
The
black faces.
Yes,
Exactly.
please.
Welch, don't be fooled by black faces, because you didn't fool me. Well, the first time you did. Well, I tell you what, this has been a lively discussion, and I knew it would be, and you offered a lot of commentary, Jabbar,
Yes,
Jamie,
I'm glad to
Gus.
shoot back.
But we have a situation. We have a situation where we had other developers to submit unsolicited bids to the city. One developer wanted to buy all of that land for $260 million. And they more or less ignored that developer. And then there was a development from the St. Pete Housing Authority. They wanted to buy a portion of the land to build an apartment complex for senior citizens, I think. And they wanted about 80 apartment complexes to be built in that little portion of land. I think there was yet a third proposal, but Welch did not move until he got the one from Cathy Wood.
Yeah.
Until he got the one from Cathy Wood.
Is there so my biggest thought, right? When I hear that, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, that name is Blake.
And my biggest thought with that is, like, why didn't you just reissue the RFP?
Mhm.
So I watched James Corbett on City Council, and he said, hey, the RFP hasn't changed, so anybody can respond to it, right? And my thought was, well, that's not the same as reissuing it. See, and it's kind of like a double talk, right? Because it's like, it makes it feel like it makes sense. Oh yeah, you're right, that makes sense. We don't have to go through an RFP process because y'all know what we want. But the RFP process is special because it kind of sends out a back signal to all developers, to people to know, hey, we're trying to redevelop something.
And this is what we want
And
in
this is what
terms
we
of
wanted.
criteria.
Makes it fair.
This is what we want in terms of guidelines. But they didn't do it because they didn't care to do it. Cathy Wood's team, they have developed a plan, and they have gone to the mayor, they've gone to city council members individually and shared their plan. And there are maybe 2 or 3 people in the community that have seen their plan.
I have seen it.
We haven't seen it, but I was told that we're going to see it when? After it's approved?
Yeah, like when we see the appraisal.
Well, listen, we're at the end, and I certainly didn't want to get to this point.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get to this point. It was fast.
30.
So having said that, I want to thank my co-host for a job well done, as always. We certainly want to thank Jabbar Edmond for his appearance here today and all the valuable information. We want to thank you, the listening audience, for tuning in to the Ray Tampa podcast. And we ask that you continue doing so each and every Tuesday evening, 5:30 p.m. And we want to remind you, please, 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 call the supervisor of elections office and register or request your mail-in ballot. Request your mail-in ballot. So with all that being said, good evening.